For now.
For now. I know, yeah. Okay, good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Conscious Conversations. It's our last one of the year, and I'm excited to see like how we bring these to life again in 2026. I think it's gonna look different, but I'm just excited to have this conversation, and where today's topic, which we will get to, but I that's not how I want to kick us off today, is about making big changes without burning out, because big changes are they're incredibly taxing on our nervous system and on our stress response and all of that. So we want to talk about doing that consciously. But I just want to geek out with Nikki for a little bit on this time that we are experiencing right now. I don't know who else listening to this or else is joining us is like tapping into this. It just feels like there is an expansion happening right now. Um, it's coming through for people in different ways. Like maybe it's a rush of energy. Maybe it's an aha that's come, like something that you felt incredibly stuck with. Maybe it's synchronicities where it's like, oh my God, it's so weird. I was just thinking about that person and they called me. Maybe it's getting the answers faster, like you're just really trusting your intuition. But there is certainly a shift that's happening, and it's the shift. Something that I follow pretty religiously is something called the Schumann resonance scale. Do you follow that, Nikki?
Not a little bit, only because of
Okay.
you.
Yeah. So Schumann resonance essentially is like the measurement of the electromagnetic field of the earth. And Schumann, so like Dr. Schumann, recognized that in the brain of the human, there are these different levels of resonance that the brain can get to, these different frequencies. And then it was also discovered that the earth holds these same frequencies. So the Schumann resonance, what's really interesting is that anytime before major events that have impacted the world, the Schumann resonance sees a spike 24 hours before these impact, which kind of reads that the collective consciousness on really on a subconscious and unconscious place, like we predict this because the field begins to change. And so this Schumann resonance has been spiking a lot lately, a lot. And just really like signifying this expansion in awareness. If consciousness, if you're like, I don't really know what consciousness means, to me, like whittle it down to awareness. And people I'm talking to are just sharing like these wild stories, whether they're having
Mhm.
really prolific dreams or, it's incredible the synchronicities that are happening. And Nikki, you and I have been geeking out on this. I don't know what you want
Mhm.
to share with your experiences, but what feels relevant and true for you right now?
Well, for those of you at home that are like, what is she talking about? I get it. I really do. A year ago, I have this vision right now, this memory of last year for New Year's. We went on a trip with some dear friends, and this condo that we rented, we're about to go back to this same exact condo, which is not usually how I roll, but it was just such a great experience for just doing it again. So my I remember sitting in this room, and I have another friend, John, that talks like Amy, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm madly jotting down words so that I can go to Webster's or to AI or something, right? To like better understand. But all I'll say is like whether she's talking about like the Schumann scale or whatever. I don't know too much about that, but I get it in concept. The learnings that I have had this year to understand this stuff is just so big. Like it's like I've been through a master's program, I feel like. And so just hang with us if it sounds like what I promise you, like just kind of breaking it down to but please, like, I just encourage you to dig in and learn about it because it is aligned to anything you're doing. Like it's not
Mhm.
taking away from any other thing. For me, it'd be like, oh my gosh, it's taking away from my relationship with Jesus. No, it is not. It is only added to. So I just wanted to give that context because I come from like, what is she talking about a year
Mhm.
ago?
Mhm. Mhm.
I would say so for me, just lately, the word that I keep saying, and I'm like having a hard time sleeping, even though I'm sleeping well. It's just exciting. Synchronicities. I mean, like, oh my gosh, like I just read about that. And then the person I'm talking to on this next meeting is talking about it. Or someone said, yeah, we've been looking for, a relationship with such and such company. And then it just so happens, I get a meeting booked and it's that company. It's just, I don't know. It's these synchronicities of it's right there. And then this intuition that just happened again with this. I was feeling this, okay, we're going to need this at People Forward Network, like for sure in
Mm.
2026. And I thought of this person, really wild. I get a Christmas gift on my doorstep from this person. She lives in California. I don't know her very well. And then I hop on a call with her, I don't know, 3 days later. And when we hop on, her energy was, I don't know her all that well. I want to give that context, but I was picking up on something like, how's it going? Like, she's like, oh, it's okay, or something. And I was like, you want to talk? Like, it just something feels off. Do you want to talk for a minute? She's like, I just got out of just a terrible meeting getting this announcement that like we don't have money to like keep going in January and blah blah blah.
Mm.
So the reason why I was thinking of her was because she was the profile of the person that could be who we need.
Mm.
Wild. I'm like,
Mm.
oh my gosh. So then, I'm like, okay, Nikki, like sit with it for a minute. While I've like banged out a, job description and all this document. She's like reviewing it over the weekend. We're meeting this week, like I'm like, I don't even know. So there's
Yeah.
intuition, right? And then ultimately just this alignment of nothing is like, I'm not around anything that's not aligned right now. Like it's just not, it's just like, oh, this meeting got canceled literally yesterday. A meeting with someone, this guy like reaches out, he's like, hey, it's a really busy time. Not going to be able to meet. Let's push it off till January. I think it was the only thing on my calendar that I saw that when I looked at it, I was like, not exciting. Oh, he canceled.
Mm.
I don't know. I could go on
Yeah.
forever. I'll turn it over to you.
It's and I mean, there's practices that come along with this. And so I think what's so cool about just getting ourselves to this place, because I do see this rise that many people are experiencing it. And anybody listening, I'm telling you, you're probably experiencing this too. It's just a matter of like dialing in to witness it, because we can often be blind to the miracles that are happening in our life, like these really cool things. But to boil this down, I think when we are sitting in meditation or in prayer, or even just walking outside, or maybe we're journaling, when we are present to the moment and we can just be of witness of like what's coming to us. So maybe it's an idea that comes to you. Um, Maybe it's someone you think about. The word I use, this is more of a woo word, and I love by the way, I love woo, because to me, like woo feels more real than anything else. But the woo word that I would use is, I've been getting a lot of downloads lately, these intuitive hits. And sometimes it's writing, sometimes it's like these incredible wisdom that will just kind of be written through me. I can't take credit for this. This did not come from my brain. um, Sometimes it's a sense of like a message I need to share with someone, like, hey, I just feel like you need this reminder, or like, hey, I feel like this specific practice would be really helpful for you right now. And every time it lands. And I've just been trusting this before coaching clients too, like sitting in meditation, being in a receivership, allowing to see what comes through. By the way, when we are in receiver mode, when we're trusting our intuition, we are really allowing our feminine energy to be invited to the table. That's a whole other conversation about the balance of feminine and masculine energy, and how it's not male female, like we all have feminine and masculine energy, but really being in receivership of this feminine energy. And I'll sit in meditation, and like the things that come through for clients, it'll be like, oh, John really needs to be like, we need to talk to John about courage today. Like this is going to be the theme. And then, I mean, it's always aligned. So kicking this off, like in our conversation, what I hope people take away is just giving yourself the space to receive and trust what's coming to you. Trust the synchronicities, trust the intuitive hits, trust the witnessing of the miracles that are around you because it's happening right now. And it feels so good to be in this frequency, which is a good shift into our topic today about like making big changes and not getting into burnout because I mean, a philosophy I live my life by is life is not happening to you, it's responding to you. That
Mhm.
so ties into what you and I are
Mhm.
experiencing right now. And it also ties into what reality we step into and what our world really looks like. No matter if we've talked about being stuck in a rut. That was a conversation we had not that long ago. No matter if we're like in the rut or we're in the midst of big changes. Life
Mhm.
isn't happening to you, it's responding to you. And so, Nikki, I know you have some new practices, some new things that you're doing right now that really seem to just be elevating how in flow you are. Do you want to share what some of those are?
Mm, yes. Um, so, okay, I would say that the biggest one is this understanding that our subconscious is the real deal, right? So it's hard for me to believe that our conscious awareness is 1 to 2% of what we're experiencing right now, meaning 98 or 99 is subconscious. It's hard for me to grasp that. So even if those aren't the exact stats, you get the picture. The subconscious is the power, right?
Mhm.
So when is our most opportunistic subconscious programming time? Sleep. So I've been doing these. I listen at night to these identity uh, building or reconstructing, um, audio things, right? So I just let it play all night, and I just really think that that is something that is 50x'd the outputs. I think that's the big new thing. The other thing is working with a new coach that is not your traditional, all right, what's your revenue goals and what do you want to work on for leadership and blah, 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 like all the stuff that I've done for a very long time. I am now working on, I had no idea that when it's really the spirituality alignment coaching. And I had no idea when I engaged her that all of it starts with identity programming. Oddly enough, she did not give me the tip to do the subconscious, listening at night. But I was like, oh, whoa, this is like the same thing. This is the same thing she's talking about?
Mm,
So those are two bigger things. And then I think just staying rooted in, um, this mantra, Amy, that I know that you share as well. Everything is working out for me. Everything
mhm,
is working out for me. That mantra, and then daily planning in the mornings, and just being discerning of what is on the calendar and what needs my time, and shifting things without apology. Like,
mhm.
you know, do you know, I want to stick with my commitments. I don't want to say that I'm not doing that, but discerning where my time needs to be and who's spent around, and saying no, or, shifting or whatever. Those are some of the
Yeah.
things.
I think like here's kind of the process too I want to break down is I love that you're using your sleep for this subconscious or unconscious hardwiring. And by the way, David, he's all in on this too. So like,
Hmm.
right, you guys can listen together. If
Hmm.
you're like, I love this idea, but my partner would think I'm absolutely insane. Maybe first have a conversation with them and say, hey, I would love to try, you know, you playing this. What do you think about that? Would that bother you? Or, I mean, there's always a workaround. Like, can you find some headphones that are comfortable to sleep in? And, but you're right. Like rewiring your mind the way that your mind believes it is 5% of your life. Your conscious mind is running the show. So 95% your subconscious and unconscious mind are running your life, the same patterns over and over again. And what I hear is happening for you is this combination. We talk about mind, body, spirit a lot. Like they're not separate things. They are things that work in collaboration. Often we see them as separate things, and we tend to have a harder time. So if we feel more stuck, if we feel like we don't know which way to go, we're not sure what decision to make, if we feel like we're more stressed, if we feel like we're more in hustle and grind rather than in flow, those are signs that our mind, body, spirit are not working in collaboration with each other, that they're working in opposition. And so what I hear you saying is like, on you're using your sleep, you're getting yourself in this really great energetic space, which is the spirit part, right? On the energetic space, because that's the your energetic space is what then affects your physical space. You're just noticing when something is good or not for your energy. You're noticing like this meeting works, this doesn't, because you're really tapped in on the energetic space. The energetic space then informs our physical body, and our physical body gives us these signs, and that's where the feelings, the sensations come in, and we can be like, ooh, this feels right, this doesn't feel right. So the energetic body informs the physical body, which then easily allows the mind to make a quick decision. But what we are often doing, especially in the midst of big changes, is we are letting the mental be the lead. And the mental is where we get lost, because we can be like, this is good, this is bad, I shouldn't. And we kind of chase ourselves around, because then we're just stuck in that subconscious and unconscious hardwiring that exists in our mind, those same patterns. So we get stuck on a pattern loop. And I hope this is lining up for everybody. So the piece here, when we are in making big changes, would be like a marriage, a divorce, a move, a job change, a business start, a business closure. Like these are all, big changes that we can have within our lives. My encouragement is, instead of starting with the mind, work from the energetic space, allow that to inform your physical body, and then let the mind easily make whatever the decision is for you. And even if the big decision has been made already, it can be a way of us just essentially like informing ourselves that we are safe. So I'll move into this next part. Whenever change happens, it's so natural that we are going to disrupt our nervous system. Anytime change happens, our body and brain are wired to keep us safe, not successful. So important that we know that. And oftentimes we will think that the safety that it's giving us, like fear, is a form of safety. I need you to be afraid so that you can be aware of all the threats are around you. We often think that that's a sign that we made a bad decision, but in truth, it's just our brain and body trying to protect us, just a sign of like, oh, this is safety. So when big changes happen, our nervous system is going to be dysregulated. And when our nervous system is dysregulated, our thinking is dysregulated. We then see more threats around us than there really are. And so just knowing, like if I go to the mind first, I'm going to feel more fearful, more uncertain, I might second guess myself, or, not even second, I might 50th guess myself. And so I need to really move to the energetic body, tap into how I'm feeling right now, and then move to my physical body and start to do some exercises to get my nervous system regulated. Consistently coming back to nervous system regulation is so important when big shit is happening in our life. Okay, I talked a lot. I'm going to
Mhm,
shut up.
mhm, mhm. No, that's good. That's good. I'm gonna go back for a minute to comment on something, and then I have an example that kinda ties into this burnout thing, and then we'll keep going. So, I just had this awareness that that subconscious stuff that I'm doing at night is a very good example of being and allowing. Okay. So I am a doer. I actually I'll just take the trophy right now for a second. I don't know anybody that outdoes me, right? Like I'm an action oriented person. I'm
Yes.
gonna do it fast, and I'm like, let's go. Right. So I love it. I love that. And I love it. I'm addicted to it. But I know that I need to be more in my being. I think my doing will always, because it's just who I am, but being more present in my doing. So my subconscious experience that having at night, if I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the number one thing that's like changing my life, I'm not doing anything except for pressing play. And then
Mm,
I'm just allowing. So I just want to note that for a second. Now, what we consume, like whether it's food or content, right? Anything that we're consuming is affecting that subconscious and conscious and all the things, right? So I'll give you an example. And for some of you, you might not know this about me, but sometimes I go down a rabbit hole on like media stories, like news stories. And this is embarrassing to admit. Amy, I don't even know if you know this. I was obsessed with the Diddy trial. Like, listen, I did not miss a second of that. I mean, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have to catch up with this chick that I follow on TikTok. Like, I'd have to every single play by play. Like, I have probably 5 different media sources. I'd have her. I'm like, okay, she's gonna have every 5 minutes. And then I had these other, I was really obsessed with it. My life during that time period was I started to notice difference in just my energy. Like I just wasn't,
Mhm.
and I remember saying to David, I was like, I think that all this consuming Diddy stuff is really affecting me. And he goes, you think? Like, duh. He goes, it's awful. Like, it's so disgusting. And I was like, okay, I need to really limit it. So now I probably check in on it like once a week. It's not like I've completely removed it, but like, have you seen the new Diddy
I was
documentary?
no,
Oh
but
my
I wanted
gosh.
to ask you. I'd be like,
Like,
"Did you watch 50 Cent's
I watched
Diddy
it the day it
documentary?"
came out. Like, I'm like, okay, so 50 Cent, he's just something, but whatever. So that is an example of what we allow in, and then like limiting that stuff, whatever. Just being aware that it's not like you're going to be a perfect eater and never cheat on your eating plan.
Yeah.
And there's things that you're going to, want to consume that are whatever it off, but watch what you do and watch where the majority is. I just want to say that. Now,
Mhm.
when we go into this like burnout, situation, let's talk about the outlier, the ultimate, and then kind of talk through working backwards. So there's a lot of people I'm talking to right now that are really struggling in business. It's like, man, I was talking to somebody yesterday that said they went through 2 layoffs and had to lay off 40 people. Actually, this other person just went through their second layoff, and it's a lot of people. There's a lot. It's really heavy for a lot of people. And we all go through seasons, and, we'll have our downtime too if we're not in it, and how we manage it. It's like, whatever. So there's a lot of people going through this. Well, this client that I had a late meeting with last night, and they are one of them that have gone through these layoffs. It's devastating. This person's the owner. I mean, devastated about it, and they are planning for Q1 in a very, very tight uh, money situation where they've had to let leaders on the team know that there will not be pay for those leaders, and these leaders are going to have to make decisions. It's a tough time. So we were talking last night. We've been working on this plan to help for Q1 to fill the funnel. So their CRO comes on. I've never met her before. We have this conversation. Da da da. And it was a good conversation, but the reality is they're just working with scraps right now. So I
Mhm.
messaged him, who I know very well, and I said, hey, how are you feeling about that meeting? He said, very good. We're just in a really tough spot right now. Sally, we'll call her, is working hard to help us get traction with our sales teams. That's the lady that I talked to last night. I said, I feel for you guys. He said, but I have peace. And then he said, thank you, with prayer hands. And I said, dang, isn't that the best? Peace through the storm. And he put a
Mm.
heart on it. And I was like, I know him well enough to know that he's in this realm of like aligned, right? And he's going through a very hard time with a business that's been around for a very long time, a multi-million-dollar business. And he said, I have peace. And I'm
Mm.
like, dang, right? So just wanted to kind of start from there. And it's like what we all would want through that. But that's why we work on all of these things, so that when the blows come, there's this peace beyond. And
Yeah.
it takes having faith and working on your like insides, right? It's
Mhm.
both. You have to
Mhm.
have both of those. So
Yeah. And when the unknown is ahead of us, and I think that's what like big changes can trigger, because you know our comfort zone's disrupted. We don't know where we're going. We don't know the path as clearly as wherever we came from, right? And so obviously that's going to activate fear, this has been, I've seen people repost this quote over and over again in different ways, but it's like, both faith and fear require you to believe in something you can't see. But the reason that fear creeps up is because it's a lack of control. Like, we can't control, there's so much unknown. And so it is incredibly important, back to what you said, to like be mindful of the energy we're inviting in through consumption. What are we talking about? Even like the energy of our words. Who are we surrounding ourselves with? What am I watching on TV? Am I moving my body? What am I consuming? Because that's going to have a ripple effect. To When you feel fear in your body, it's not the enemy. I've really learned something that's become a beautiful part of my practice is just to sit with whatever emotion meets me with just love and compassion, not shame and judgment, because shame and judgment just add in more negative emotions that I've got to work through later. And so if I can notice that there's fear happening and just pinpoint, where am I feeling this fear in my body? Maybe it's in my chest, maybe it's in my throat, and I'm just going to sit with it and sort of like almost coach myself. It's like coaching the little child or parenting the little child within. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay, and breathing through it, and resisting the urge to let my mind get involved and create a story that is not real in that moment. I just need to be fully present with the emotion, not the story that it's writing. And that's so important for us to just walk ourselves through the other side. Becoming conscious does not mean that we're never, or becoming more conscious doesn't mean that we're not going to find ourselves in these situations where we kind of spin out. It just means that hopefully we notice it faster and that we have better tools for managing through that. And whether it is a big change in life or you're experiencing burnout somewhere else, all of these same principles are true. Tap back into your energy, connect with your body. It's likely that I think burnout, I've said this so many times, I think burnout is a byproduct of ignoring a, a knowing within. So like tap back into what you need, and let the mind be the last thing that we consult. I have found for myself, and this is true for clients, when the mind is the first thing we consult, we create a lot more problems,
Mhm.
a lot more problems.
Mhm. Mhm.
So go ahead.
Amy, I was thinking as we, kind of wrap this up, thinking through what are some of the things that are most important to set yourself up for long-term success, like as you navigate the roller coaster, right? I like to say this thing that David and I came up with on Addicted to Betterment, our podcast.
Mhm.
Um, the roller coaster doesn't stop. Roller coaster meaning up and down, right? It doesn't stop. You just learn how to ride it better.
Yes.
You're gonna always have the ups and downs. It's just what it is, right? We all agree that. So how do we navigate it better? I was just these are just coming to mind right now. So I just started to jot them down. Let's think through this. Number one, what trash do you need to rid?
Mm.
And that is, maybe I still peek at the Diddy stuff, but like I'm not like obsessively like every update, right? That's not good. Um, and maybe I just need to get rid of it completely, probably. So thinking about the people in our lives that I think back last year, year before, and I can think of people that were very close in my life that aren't in my life anymore. Doesn't mean that I don't care about them, but I just don't allow them in my life. So ridding that junk, is really important. And then I think tightening and intentionally developing your inner circle,
Mm.
because if you don't have the trash and you have a tight, aligned circle,
Mhm.
and then you apply your practices, whatever those are, right? Your regular habits. You're pretty. It's a really good recipe.
Mhm.
What else do you have to add to that?
I just think a being practice, whatever that looks like, a being practice, and starting your day with a being practice. What does being look like for you? I think that's incredibly important. I mean, eventually our human nature is going to catch up to us. And I think that having compassion for that human part of us, it's not proof that you aren't a high achiever, or you aren't good, or you aren't getting shit done, or like it's not proof of that. It's just proof you're human and a human being. And so, what can you do to sit and honor with your being each day? And I feel like when we do that, we create a greater capacity for awareness, and
Mhm.
awareness shines a light on what is no longer working in our favor. And so, if we don't know, if we feel like, well, I'm not really sure, da, 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 okay, it's not, don't chase the knowing, create the space for it to be revealed to you.
Mhm.
That is
Mm.
why we sit in
Mm.
being, in
That's really
meditation,
good.
in prayer, in no phone, no distraction, so that it may be revealed.
Mhm.
That's my greatest recommendation.
Mhm.
Okay. Wow. Man, it's been, these are so fun. I hope everyone listening has an incredible holiday, that you are able to be present with whatever's happening, and just know that being with people that you love is the greatest gift for these holidays. So take a breath, ask for help, enjoy the hell out of every moment that you can, and have an incredible new year.
Yes, I second that. PFN is we've got 4 days left and we'll be off for 2.5 weeks, and I am
Awesome.
here for it. So,
Awesome. Well
yeah,
deserved.
everybody have a lovely holiday break. Best one yet.
Yes. All right. Take care.